I mean, 300 yards on the ground isn't too bad, I'd say. So I think we played probably our best game yet, and we got to carry that forward coming against a tough opponent like Texas. So just getting better every day.
Yeah, you had the play right before halftime where you got out and got the block to help Zachariah score a touchdown. As an offensive lineman, what are the challenges of getting out on the perimeter that quickly, and how do you feel like you guys have done as a unit blocking on the perimeter throughout this year?
I say the challenge is when you get out there, it's like you get out there as fast as you can, but it's having those skill players that obviously weigh less than you and then can move out the way. So getting your hands on them is probably the most important part at that point, and just straining when you get out there because they can run off your blocks and they can move out the way. So getting your hands on them is probably the most important part in there.
Monroe, obviously, Texas's pass rushers are, pretty good. Colin Simmons is one that's, really highly regarded as far as the NFL draft. As a guy who eventually wants to play in the NFL, when you see a matchup like this, what kind of goes through your mind, and what do you think he does well?
I think he's a great speed guy. He's a very freaky athlete. Got a lot of twist to him. Uh, I'm excited. I'm a competitor. I love going out there and competing. So whenever you get a good opponent like that, you just gotta hone in your technique and get ready to play some ball.
I guess the college football playoff rankings come out again tonight. Do you take a peek at those, see where Georgia is every week, or what do you think about what you guys need to do to get in the playoff again?
I mean, you can take a look at them, but just kind of focus on the game ahead of you. Like the rankings are rankings, but I don't really concern myself much with them.
Yeah, you mentioned you guys played your best game as an offensive line against Mississippi State. How much do you think that continuity and the fact that you guys are finally healthy and not having to shuffle around every game has sort of helped this offensive line reach that point?
I mean, yeah, playing a great game definitely has kind of a confidence factor to it, but it, you got to stack the games, and I think one game isn't gonna, you know, define our offensive line, but you'd love for it to. But you got to go out to Texas and play your game because again, they're a really good team, and you're in the SEC, so every single week's a battle.
Monroe, statistically, Texas is one of the best defenses in terms of stopping the run. Just what stands out to you about why they're so effective and just the mission for you guys on the offensive line Saturday?
You know, from watching film the other day, it looks like they don't do as much movement as a lot of other teams who play. So they're kind of strong and confident in their interior guys and edge guys to stop the run. So, just going out there, they're confident that they can stop the run. We're confident that we can run the ball. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle.
Monroe, obviously you're a third year with Coach Searle. And, very demanding coach. I think everybody knows that. But what can you say about the job he's done working with you guys, working through all the injuries, getting you guys finally kind of together? Just what's he been like to work with?
Yeah, no, we do a lot of rotating in practice, just everywhere, and I think he gets a lot of guys a lot of opportunities to play different positions. And as much as challenging as it is to, rotate positions, I think it's really good just for developing as a football player, and as much as just, being able to play those positions. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar said that Drew was kind of the heart and soul of the offensive line when he was in here yesterday. Just what does he bring to you guys as a front group, not just with his play on the field, but as a leader too?
I mean, he brings fire, passion, energy every single play. I mean, every single day. He'll give me some chirps too. We all chirp each other. I think he doesn't hold anything back. He goes out there and, practicing. He practices as hard as anybody. Running to the ball every play, straining. And, he gives it his all. And you got to respect him for that, especially after waiting his time and getting his chance to play in this fourth year. I've roomed with him every single game day since I've been here. So, I love Bobo, one of my guys, and I'm proud of him for how he stepped up this year.
How is he as a roommate?
He snores. I've probably thrown a couple pillows at him whenever he's sleeping, just so he'll stop snoring. I think one time I got up to try to push him over just so he wouldn't snore, but yeah.
During your recruitment, obviously development was a big part of your decision to come here. You're in year 3, and these last couple games you played really well. What has helped you get to this moment when you start to look back over the 3 years you've been here, and just why? I mean, since the injury, you've been back, and how do you feel physically?
Coming here, I think is the best decision I've ever made. Coming to a place that has so many guys just constantly going to the NFL and playing against so many good players in practice, it makes you confident in your ability to go out there and play against other SEC opponents. And as for my body and how I feel, I think I'm starting to get back to where I felt at the beginning of the season, maybe even before that. And it's a really good feeling to finally have your body feeling well, especially this far into the season and going into the playoffs. So I'm excited.
Monroe, this will be a big one Saturday night as far as anticipation and the crowd. What is the feeling like for you pregame when you're out there warming up, seeing the crowd, and getting ready for a big night game at home?
It's exhilarating, awesome. I mean, I could use so many words to describe it, but you only get so many opportunities to go out there and play in Sanford, and for it being a night game and playing against Texas at home, because we haven't seen them at home yet, so it's awesome. I love playing in that stadium. I'm looking forward to having that environment, and yeah.
Another Drew question. You mentioned how hard he works. He's the heart, soul, and all that. And I don't know, it may not make much sense to you or not, but the fact that his dad is the OC, you think maybe for him subconsciously that kind of makes him feel like he has to kind of be that guy for you on the offensive line?
I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly how I'd do it if my dad was my offensive coordinator. I'm sure he definitely feels a little more pressured because for him, I think it's going to separating the coach from being the dad. And sometimes I bet it can get to his head, but I know he does a good job of just going out there and giving it his all, regardless of whatever his coach/dad thinks.
Does Drew have any complaints about you as a roommate?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure if you put him up here, you could say something about me too. But
No, my question really is, I don't know if you thought that was Georgia's most complete game Saturday. How much you think it was the opponent? How much can you guys, do you see that as a kind of something you guys can build on and keep playing at that level?
I mean, I think we can always get better. We turned the ball over once, and we try to have no turnovers. So, we can definitely get better. There's plays where we might have missed our blocks. I think I had a play where I went straight in my face immediately. So, I can always get better, and I think that, as much as a complete game we like to say, we can get better.
Yeah, we just got a chance to talk to Quintavious. Where have you seen him improve the most this season for this team?
Just assignment. I think that as a young guy, you want to go in there and make all the plays. But, as our defense, we play assignment defense. So, if everyone does their job, then we're going to succeed as a defense. Kind of as like an offense. If everyone does their job, we're going to succeed as an offense. Nobody has to be a hero. And I think what's gotten him the most is just whenever you play your assignment and do your job, the defense will succeed. So it's just mean team over me,
You got to be able to play out in space a little bit last week, make some blocks that sprung for touchdowns. When that happens, and you're going to be a bigger guy on a safety or a corner or even a linebacker. What's going through your head, and when that play breaks out for a touchdown, what's your feeling? In film you're going to see that and be like, oh, see, that's my block that kind of led to that touchdown.
I mean, when I'm out there, it's just don't miss. Just don't miss and get your hands on them. You go into film you see your block, you made it, but that's my job at the end of the day. I did my job, so I'm happy I did my job. I'm happy I didn't miss. Next play as an offensive lineman.